This is life. Through the good days and the bad, we see it tagged online with #blessed or BFF, celebrating the ones we love or doing the things we've dreamed most of. Life can change in the blink of an eye, so we continue collecting memories that make the world pass by. I think that's why it's called living your best life. Take that flight, say yes to that job, no time for second best. Wait, something's happening today, I should go, no time to rest. Until you can't keep climbing that wall because you find yourself slipping. One more coffee, two more coffee, I really don't feel like quitting. Until your life just doesn't feel like life anymore. Life now is just another day wishing I wake up with some energy. Another day questioning, what's wrong with me? My body aches, another day in my bed. And years of being told, this is in your head. So I just wait here and lie, watching the world go by. Is this now my reality? Just here to keep asking, what's wrong with me? Except I don't really have the energy to do that, so I just lie there and say, why am I so tired? Sometimes saying yes feels easier than giving another reason, which sounds like an excuse, although this excuse is very real, just the diagnosis sounds obtuse. Hey, sorry I feel unwell again. No, there's really nothing else going on. No, I haven't forgotten you or replaced you. No, I don't mean to be withdrawn. Another day inside, but at least I now can close my eyes. Until you remember you've got pills to take, all 63 of them evenly spaced throughout the day. For the past 20 years, I've had a disease that has continuously been misdiagnosed. Late 2019, I finally got an answer. So these are the test results that tell me I have Lyme disease. And although it's not something you really want to be diagnosed with, back then I was so relieved. I was so relieved to have a diagnosis.
I can do like one thing and then I sleep for the rest of the day and I'm so frustrated. I want to have some energy. I want to go back to normal and stop feeling like I've got to sleep all the time.
I did 13 years of multiple GP visits. I went to lymph experts. I went to a gynecologist. I ended up having an operation with a vascular surgeon on my legs. I had 2 years with going back and forth to an endocrinologist. I saw so many doctors. Symptoms actually started when I was 10 years old. I now know it was Lyme disease. So I've had Lyme disease for over 20 years. Despite there being over more than 400,000 cases of Lyme disease in the US, which is more than HIV and breast cancer combined, chronic Lyme is still not really properly recognised in the UK. And it only takes one quick Google search to find that most of the first results from mainstream papers state a lot of incorrect information. The biggest one being 3 weeks of antibiotics curing Lyme, which won't actually cure chronic long-term Lyme. And only 50% of cases show a bullseye rash, something I never had myself. On average, it takes 5 years and visits to 13 different doctors to get a diagnosis. And one of the reasons the testing is so difficult is Lyme is a really highly evolved organism and it suppresses your immune response to it. And so you're testing for antibodies, but that's exactly what Lyme is trying to kind of work against, if that makes sense. You know, on the bad days, you can't lift your arm up. You know, you can't stand up. You can't. Having a shower and lifting your arms above your head, it hurts. It's like an overwhelming sense of fatigue. If left untreated, Lyme disease spreads and symptoms progressively get worse over time. Lyme patients experience a whole variety of different symptoms, which can come and go randomly. One of the reasons why many are misdiagnosed at first. Even after 2 years of treatment, after 1 day of filming of this, I began to struggle.
Oh my god, I'm so tired. Everywhere hurts to touch. It just really, really, really hurts. It's like, it's really hard to describe. It just feels like you're bruised all over.
Tick, tock, tick, 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 tick. This all came from a tick, the size of a poppy seed. Just one bite to pass on this disease. I try, but now I just watch the world go by.
And those days with the brain fog where everything feels like you're underwater, wading through your own day, watching yourself on the hard shoulder whilst everyone else is on the motorway.
One of the worst parts of Lyme is brain inflammation, which I'm having like a bit now. I'm kind of sort of just, I'm just like lost.
Do you need a rest?
And even when you are awake, you're not really like here. You're just not with it.
It just takes everything that's you, like you just lose yourself. It saps all your personality, it saps your speech because you struggle to speak, you struggle to hear, see, my eyesight starts to go. And I'm really, really, really lucky that even though I'm having a bit of a flare up right now, I can still talk. Like I can still sit here and talk about this. This time last year, like when I was in treatment, like you just sit there, you're kind of like aware that you're living, but you can't get words out. It's just awful. It makes me so upset that like there's people that might be struggling with this and don't even realise they've got it, because we're really good at raising awareness about mental health, and I really think it's important. But I knew nothing about brain health, and you can have as much therapy as you want, but if you've got a brain health issue, that's a whole entirely different problem. And I'm really surprised that we're not taught about this. We're not educated on brain health. There's no other medical profession that I can think of that don't look at the organ they're treating, but with mental health we don't. I've had to kind of go through this side of things alone, because just, you know, how do you explain that to someone? How do you explain brain fog and brain inflammation to people who've never had it? It's just entirely different from walking around with like a broken leg. Yeah.
My meds. If you're a Lyme patient and you're doing the antibiotic route, you will probably see a lot of doxycycline. You know when you get an illness and you take antibiotics, they just make you feel better? With Lyme disease, it's actually killing off the Lyme, so you actually feel horrific. That's roughly what I'm going to get through, sort of within breakfast, lunchtime. Yeah, 2 years ago, this would be like a delivery of me getting excited by like, I don't know, an ASOS haul.
Should do an unboxing.
So Lyme is very complicated to treat, and there really isn't much medical help unless you go privately. So you're paying the bills, and it can really add up with a long-term illness. I have heard a lot of cases of people who go into remission and then it comes back. So what you really want to do is you want to kind of make sure that that's not going to happen. I'm doing a lot better than I was, you know, at the start. And my mind feels my brain feels a lot clearer, although I still have my bad days. It's still a significant improvement. It's not all doom and gloom. The other Lyme patients I've spoken to and talked to have just been amazing. The communities online have been fantastic, and I've learned so much information from them. They've been so helpful.
When you have Lyme disease, not only do you have to do basically, you know, so much legwork on your own at the beginning.
I was bedbound for a year. My family, my parents looked after me 24 hours a day. I had a range of symptoms, brain fog, where my brain just felt like it was in a complete cloud constantly. Joint pain, muscle spasms, sciatica.
You've got the health service who refuse to help you. You've got family members and friends who refuse to believe you because they take what the health service says as gospel. You know, you're literally stuck in a corner and no one can help you.
What you see is very different from what I feel. You see, Lyme has no face, no identity. It's like playing roulette and putting your faith in the wheel. But this time the consequence of a bet feels like gambling with your life, a prisoner of your own thoughts, yet there's no escaping this kind of jail. You quietly collect your chips and see what tomorrow will entail. And on those days when I take 2 steps back, I'll say, hey, that's okay. I can do what I can do and I will continue with my day. And for that, I'll feel no shame. And I will always have hope. Alongside gratitude, I realised the power in hope this year. It drives us humans forwards even though the route's unclear. Every payment I've had to send with no promise of a cure, or when I've struggled to move my hands and the cause is still unsure. And when it all gets too much and I'm feeling lost or just sap dry and I've watched the tears roll out my eyes and broken down and cried, that's okay. There is always another day to watch the world go by.